Welcome everybody. My name is Ákos Klein and I would like to share a few thoughts on careers and how we can bring our career aspirations closer to the Sustainable Development Goals. Today, as we are sitting in this lecture theatre, there live as many people in cities as many used to live all together on the planet when I was born. In 1980, 4.4 billion people lived on the planet, and 40% of them lived in cities. Today, more than 50% of the world population, 4.1 billion, live in cities, out of the 7.6 billion people. So the world population has almost doubled, and the urban population has almost tripled over the past 4 decades. I am very concerned about the future of the life on our planet Earth. This very strong feeling wakes me up every morning, this gives me the momentum, and I feel responsible somehow. Sometimes I feel I would like to live at least 200 more years to see where we can get with our solutions. On other days, I feel I cannot carry on a single minute, bleeding out myself upon something that seems so utterly hopeless. But thankfully, my positive days outnumber the negative ones. So, if you share at least a fraction of my concerns, then you have to ask yourself similarly to me, what sort of life should I have? What is my career for? Is it only to make my dreams come true? Or do I have any more obligations beyond my self-interest? Many times we are lost and cannot see clearly the obvious answers to such vital questions of our existence. The problems seem to be so vast, distant and hopeless that we cannot see how we could help. It is not obvious either if we hold any responsibility for all these at all. Shall we start to bring a couple of buckets of water to this landscape to bring life back to the desert? Yes, you should start it rather quickly. Your work matters, and I think your career matters as well. Your career must be more than purely chasing your personal goals. Our career is to fulfill our dreams, of course, achieve some big goals, and earn some money as well. But career means responsibility too. A great philosopher, Hans Jonas, wrote in his book, The Imperative of Responsibility, in search of the ethics for the technological age, that in your present choices include the future wholeness of man among the objects of your will. Or in other words, it is a duty towards the existence and the conditions of the future generations and life on the earth. Another obligation, according to Jonas, a moral must in learning. He claims in his book that ours is the first generation which has the moral obligation to learn as much as we can. This is not the privilege of the few anymore to learn. Without trying to comprehend the most of the complexity of the world, we have no chance to slow down the disasters we caused. Okay, you probably agree with me now that we must do something in order to slow down this madness. But how? And there is a helpful framework that helps us to answer this question. This concept is called the Global Sustainable Development Goals. This agenda comprises 17 boxes, 17 ambitious goals to achieve by 2030. Each box names one of the big global challenges like clean water and sanitation, climate action, quality education, and so on. And the main purpose of the 2030 agenda is to make these goals part of the mainstream politics worldwide. Everybody can find their place in the matrix and can find connections between the goals and their jobs. In the current project, the Careers in Nature Conservation, we have tried to help young conservationists to find a job in the sector. We guided them through a path where they learned more about the sector skills, they developed new skills, they became prepared to apply for a job. It is easy to show where conservationists can play a role on the SDG board. Responsible consumption, sustainable cities and communities, life in water, life on the land, climate action, affordable and clean energy are the typical topics that traditional conservationists generally would deal with. But we, as conservationists, cannot change the direction of the mainstream processes. And changing the direction is exactly what we want to avoid collision with the iceberg. We want to stand behind the steering wheel, and we need everybody's power to turn it slowly. There is a huge need to work on other global challenges like drinking water, poverty, quality education, gender equality, reduced inequalities, and so on. So the matrix of the SDGs is very close to the stage where our thinking should be, and unfortunately still light years far away from the policy and implementation. Hence, we have the moral obligation and day-by-day duty to push these helpful infographics nearer to reality. So, here it comes, your responsibility. We invite every single one of you to explore the SDGs very closely. Find your role among SDGs, try to identify where you personally feel motivated, where your element is. Try to bring your work in line with the SDGs. Try to connect as many sustainable development goals with your field, as many you can, in order to achieve what we would like to have, a just and fair humanistic blue planet with various and variable life forms in their dignity. So, for example, if you have the choice between two research opportunities, select the one that contributes somehow to the manifestation of the SDGs. Ask yourself, do we really want to know more how meat production can be increased in chicken factories? Do we really want to know more how to raise profit? Or we rather would like to know how we can reduce population growth, pollution, irrational consumption, corrupt political systems, or social attitude? You will know the right answer. You have responsibility to find the right answers. Because your career matters. Thank you very much for your attention.